Coming up, we're getting ready for feed time at the park.
Who wouldn't want to eat that?
Our 6.5 metre python takes a trip to the vet.
We haven't got a lot to smile about, Tim.
And you've heard of stubborn mules.
It's always one troublemaker. Morning, guys. Full load. Yep.
With so many animals at the reptile park, you can imagine we get through quite a bit of food each day.
Righto, Muscles.
And with morning and afternoon feed times, managing it is like a military operation. We need fresh food, so deliveries are a daily routine.
That other bag's
That's
moved.
quite a few tonnes of tucker to dish out.
Straight in the foodie. The reptile park has nearly 500 animals and they all have specific diets. Now, the diets vary from fruit, meats, grains, pellets, minerals and supplements. But what's important is that it arrives regularly and it's fresh. We try to replicate wild diets as much as possible, but where that proves difficult, sometimes we need to add in supplements or create an artificial diet. In the wild, echidnas feed on termites and ant eggs. Now, that's impossible for us to provide enough of them to the echidnas in captivity. So we have to come up with an artificial diet. And in the echidna's case, it's pretty complex. Basically, all of the ingredients will go into this bucket and they get mixed into a slurry that the echidnas can lick up. Now, there's eggs and mince, a little bit of oil for sharp spines and a good coat. Just a tablespoon. Then we've got a calcium supplement, a little bit of glucose. Now we mix it all together. Listen to that. Have a looky there. Who wouldn't want to eat that?
I just need to divide these up and our echidna feed is sorted. Looks like someone's going to meet their 5 a day.
That's the last of it. Off to feed. We like happy animals here, and they say the way to an animal's heart is through their stomach. They're going to love seeing me.
First up are the roos. They're free to roam about the park during the day, but at night, we like to keep them in an enclosure, just in case.
Down you go. Come on, skippies. Down we go. Come on, got some food.
They love getting back out into the park. Well, most of them.
Come on, mister. Not that way, buddy. You know where to go. Come on, around this way. It's always one troublemaker. That's the big male.
The roos will nibble on grass, as well as feed that visitors give them during the day. But they get a head start each morning with some sweet potato.
Feed time's the best time to have a general inspection of the animals because they're quite content feeding. So the kangaroos here, obvious to me, look like they're in good health. But now's when I'd have a bit of a look for any sores or abrasions or just general signs of ill health. Hey, how are you? The kangaroos look good today. I'm happy with them. I'm off to feed someone else.
I've no idea how much food our animals get through each year, but it must be up near 100 tonnes or more. This next lot, well, I don't think they'll account for much.
The idea is that she's going to thrash around, she'll build up like a gator, and then she'll have a bit of a kick. So just keep her nice and straight out, settle ourselves, settle her, and then we'll put her into the bag.
Today at the Australian Reptile Park, my staff and I are preparing for an extremely dangerous capture.
OK, well, let's be safe and... OK, we'll meet you around the front, guys.
Atomic Betty, our gigantic reticulated python, has a large lump on her back. She has to be caught so we can get a closer look at what it is.
There is no easy way to catch Atomic Betty. She's one of the most dangerous animals here at the Reptile Park. If she gets a coil around someone, she will crush them. So we have to get keepers on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and straighten her out so she can't constrict. If it goes wrong, someone could get crushed or bitten. You'll know what to do. 2, 1. Good boys. In. Hit that coil off. Head up. Head up.
Very good.
Okay. Everyone grab on, feet her out, feet her out, feet her out. Atomic Betty is a member of the largest python species on Earth. Now, at her size, a bite, teeth are a centimetre long, serious cuts, and if she gets a coil around you, you'll hear ribs pop. This is serious. Hold on. Watch that head, mate. Yep. Everyone good?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. It's been an epic struggle, but finally we've got our 6.5 metre python under control. Okay, so bring that bag in, Kay. Carolyn, you can help Kay, please. So over there. Yep, open it right up. Tail's gonna go in first. Start to bring the bag a bit closer, guys. Mickey, you'll count us.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go. Beauty. Now wrap her up. Atomic Betty is one of the Reptile Park favourites. To think that there's something wrong with her, I don't like it and it worries me.
Excuse us, guys. Cheers, thank you.
We're moving her to a safe area for examination. Now she's agitated, so when we open up that sack, she'll be ready to strike. The danger's real with Atomic Betty. The first year I ever caught her, I was about 1 metre away and there was another keeper. She launched at us both and a couple of her teeth caught his fingernail, and it was like watching a hot knife go through butter, blood everywhere. We need to be aware of that and manage her very, very safely. We're right, guys, so I'm gonna grab head from out of the bag. Yep. Okay, now there's only 4 of us, so let's go up and out. Yep, up. You good, mate? Just watch out how close. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at that. You got her, mate? Just take her over to your left there.
Yeah, we can go down so she's on the ground.
Okay, that's nice. Oh, look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty serious. I'm really worried about that, mate. I can see that and feel that there's bone. Man, it's raised, so she needs to go to the vet. All right, guys, let's get her back in now. Softly, gently.
As in...
Whoop. Honor. We're good. That's almost in. You 2 boys on the head? Atomic Betty's never been to the vets before. She's not the type of animal that you can just catch and carry down to the vets. But this is serious, and I need to do it. Oh, that's it, bottom of the bag. And in, nice and soft. Here we go. Righto, we're gonna wheel this up. Mike, can you get Van?
Got it. Mike.
One thing we don't want is for this to lead to an operation.
Hey.
Apart from anything else, anaesthetics are dangerous and not often used on reptiles.
Atomic Betty is a big, beautiful snake, and surgery would be a nightmare.
I'm doing the morning rounds at the reptile park. So far, I fed the roos, and now I'm off to see some of our more colourful Aussie animals.
This is my favourite aviary in the park. It's the bushbird aviary. This aviary is full of a heap of different species of birds, from lorikeet, button quail, plovers, pitters, bowerbirds. But one of my favourites are honey eaters. This is an eastern spinebill, and it's a nectar feeder. Now, here it's eating an orange and extracting the juices. In the wild, that'd be a flower. Now, he uses that long bill to probe into the orange or flower, and he has a tongue with a brush on the end of it. So as that tongue flicks out, it collects the nectar, takes it back in the mouth, and that's what he drinks.
And he's not here because he's friendly. It's because of his high metabolism. He has to feed continuously in order to survive.
And then there's the bullies. There are a couple of very endangered region honeyeaters that form part of a breeding program. That's him right there. Now, they're bigger, more robust. So the little eastern spinebill, he's got to get in first. Here you go, mate. These little honeyeaters, they behave like hummingbirds, quick, fluttering wings, and they can be motionless while hovering in flight. Up there, this is the smallest lorikeet in Australia, the little lorikeet. I think the most beautiful too. Look there, that's the male scarlet honeyeater, that vibrant red. That's such a beautiful bird. I think they're getting a bit impatient. I better put this food out. Now, it's obviously the honeyeaters that are the hungriest, so I'm going to feed them first. Because of the many different types of bird in here, there are many different types of food, and it ranges from birds that are insectivorous nectar eaters, fruit eaters, and so on.
With so much of our bush birds' natural habitat disappearing, any help they can get is appreciated. So if you want to see birds in your area or even your backyard, choose a range of bird-attracting plants for your garden and make sure any feed you put out is the best you can find.
This aviary's got everything it needs. I gotta keep moving.
You certainly get a good workout doing the rounds here.
Hey, Sally.
I'm off to see a special little girl who was brought to us by a member of the public.
Little Sally here was an orphan found in the wild, and she's been hand-reared at the reptile park since she was very small. Now, back then, she was on 5 bottles a day. Now she only gets 2. And I'm sitting in a koala yard, and that's where she lives at the moment. It's a halfway house because she's too small to meet our other big kangaroos, but in a couple of months, we'll introduce her and she'll become a part of the mob. Hello, mate.
Afternoon, Timmy. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. How are you?
What's happening?
We've come down to the vets with Atomic Betty, our 11-year-old reticulated python. I hope you got her. Yep, got it. She's got a large lump on her back, and I'm hoping Dr. Peter Nosworthy can provide some answers to what has caused this massive swelling.
So we're mid-back with this. Do we have to get her all the way out, do you think?
I think she'll be better up there because it's just better for us with restraint. OK. Now, keep coming a little. Here we go. Comes up now, Pete. That's it. So once that's flat, let's keep her there.
She got a bony bump.
What is it?
Oh, what's bone? Well and truly.
What's your first?
Oh, well, first impression's a worry. Touching Betty's lump, I'm concerned that she suffered a fractured vertebrae in her back and that there's the potential to her to be paralysed from that point backwards. We need to have a look at the spine to see whether we've got a straight line vertebrae for a start, that there's no disarticulation.
Yes.
Appreciate that if that's the case, then we've got impingement on the cord.
Yes.
And from there backwards, we're going to have nerve issues.
So what are we going to do now?
Yeah, I want to take an X-ray, if that's all right with
Yeah,
you guys.
sure. We might just carry her through while she's out.
Yeah, if you're up for that, that's good.
Right. We got the way back here. I'm really nervous. My stomach's in knots. And that's because the worst case could unfold. Bit more, Mickey. A little bit more, mate. OK, that's us. Yep, we're good there. But if these results are bad and she has a broken back, that could end in paralysis. And that's the end of Betty. We don't want that to happen.
X-ray's happening, guys. 1, 2, go. OK?
Good. Atomic Betty's a really important part of the Australian Reptile Park. She is so loved that for anything to be wrong would be horrible.
We haven't got a lot to smile about, Tim. She has a crack in a vertebrae.
OK.
OK, you can see this is bone. That bone should be sitting low. You can see how the vertebrae come up there. That should be sitting. Same as this, they're all sitting next door to each other.
Yep.
That one's sitting up in the air, which means that we have got some pressure on the underside of the spinal cord.
So, Pete, now, are we still looking at a real risk of paralysis?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. We are looking at a risk of paralysis. So if it's left to its own devices, it's left calm, quiet, it may well cement up beautifully.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like having a fused joint then.
Yep.
That would be what we're after.
Yep. Pete's told me it'll take 6 months for the bones to heal, and we have to follow strict instructions to ensure her well-being.
So for Betty, we've got no climbing, rest, small meals, and the pain-relieving drugs.
Well, I'm not sure whether that's good news or bad news. I guess it could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
It could have been worse. I'm really happy that we brought her here today because till we got those X-rays, we couldn't know the severity of the injury. So, you know, we could have been on a knife's edge where she was about to become paralysed, and maybe by not feeding her big items now and the couple of things we're going to implement, we saved her. OK, let's go.
Back at the reptile park, and it's straight into her enclosure for Betty.
She's heavy.
It'll be another year before she needs to be handled again. will reduce her food intake and hopefully we'll see signs of improvement.
It's been a big day for Betty and keepers. But now we know what's wrong with her and we know what we've got to do to fix it. For now, she needs some rest. Okay, that's it. All right, Betty. Righto, darling. That was a big day. All you got to do is get better now.
I've been doing the rounds, feeding some of our little critters. Sally is an orphaned roo we've been caring for. But she's not the only little Aussie battler we've got staying with us.
Come on, Daisy. Daisy here is also an orphan, but unlike Sally, she's still young and needs 24-hour, round-the-clock care, 5 bottles a day. Now, because of that, she likes to live in a pouch still and can be a little bit lazy, but she needs exercise. Mum would make her exercise. Now, she's going to stay right at my heels and we're going for a jog. Come on, you. This here is an echidna, and it has to be one of the most unusual creatures on Earth, and very spiky. They're a monotreme, which means they're an egg-laying mammal. And look at that, pretty cute. That little face in there. Are you hungry, mate? I bet you are. A little spiky here thinks that I'm a threat, so he's curled up in a ball, and if I was a dingo, I wouldn't be able to eat him because I can't get past the spines. Once he realises the food's here, I don't think he'll be this worried. Hello. Echidnas feed on termites and ant eggs. Now, to find their food, they use strong front claws to break open termite mounds. And then once they've got an entry point, they use their tongue to stretch out, and it's sticky, and the termites stick to it, then bring them back into the mouth and swallow them. The food we feed them is blended into a paste. Now, that's because they're not equipped to be able to chew their food. If it was lumpy, they can't process it. They need a nice fine paste. That long tongue comes out, licks it back up into the mouth, and they swallow it. Echidnas are found right across Australia. And because they're monotremes, egg-laying mammals, they are incredibly unique. There's only 3 on Earth: the short-beaked echidna, the long-beaked echidna in Papua New Guinea, and the platypus. The body of an echidna being so spiky is no mistake. There are lots of predators in Australia that would love to eat an echidna. But when you're this spiky and you can curl up in a ball, that's near impossible. Everything protects their soft underparts where their organs are, and that soft little sensitive face and snout.
Hugo, our Galapagos tortoise, is a youngster in Galap terms. He's only 65, but he's got a voracious appetite. He'll eat over 30 kilos a day. That's a lot of cactus, grasses, leaves and lichen in the wild. We can't replicate the wild diet exactly, but that doesn't stop our Hugo from munching down all that we can give him.
Oh, yeah. There you go, mate. There's your food. I'll come and see you later, fella. This is Kraken. He's a Komodo dragon. He's only 2 years old and already 1.5 metres. Now, Komodos are the largest lizard on Earth.
They're intelligent and responsive to signals. Now, the main way in which we feed them is by target training. So this orange ball on the end of a pole indicates where I want him to go.
Kraken.
Now, once he does that, I've got a little clicker that indicates, good boy, there's your food.
Here.
A few of these big rats should fill him up.
Well, that's enough for him for the week. I've got one very special mate to go, and that's it for my morning round. Some animals get fed weekly, like big snakes. Some get fed daily. Some get fed many times a day, just like this little fella in here. That is Cameron the chameleon. Now, they eat a lot, and they eat insects, so they need to eat a lot of them. And it's the way that they eat that is amazing. Wow. Not every day you see a tongue like that, and it's sticky. That pinpoint accuracy is just brilliant. Their eyes both move, and they lock onto that prey. Bang! Always get it.
OK, that's about done now.
Everyone's had their tucker. It's time to wash up. I've had fun, but now I've got to do some real work.